Chapter 2. Out of a Seed. Potter's Federal. With prophecies brought back up in speech, and ideas shown for years, soon and 10 passed by the days, I always wondered why it would burden on for so long. In seasons with nothing new to show for the left behind reasons, and still hoping for healing. But remember, I was suggested to hold on to faith and not let the 120 calendars fall to nothing, and he would also listen to me when I spoke of his calling, come back to speech. Although he would confuse it for a little bit of the walking of the speech of prophecy, when all that was meant was a little bit of massive speech, not miles walked. I looked forward for years to the sweet sound so deeply missed of the guitar and songster's vocals. Brought blessings with the code wove into the fabric of God and softly scarcely plopped down through fruitfully planted songs. I'm simply in miss of the G, E minor, G, E minor, D, A, E minor, A, E minor, G, D, E minor. Because a lot was to birth from such a simple chord of structures. Even for me to miss it was to almost bring tears to eyes. How much more was it for Potters? Federal would soon pick up a strum and chord a few notions down on scribbled paper, to bring about a flumped flapjacks and jills to chill the walls of a lost race of people in liquored-faced taverns. Federal's sound was thought about poorly at first, but soon the squeamish eyes of the crowd grew into a pleasant smile and then a gracious cheer. It was thought I would be great in a short time, so now time will be all that tells. Potter's songs were great, and Federal was also told the same. In time, the two would meet and trade strums. I always hoped the planted seeds would soon come into a forest and build a few things from it, and I was now in wait for this to come to pass. So waited I did. And a decade came sailing on a crafty twist and turn of a trip. I waved goodbye to all that I had lost, and he gave up some hope, but we all gathered into a chamber, lodged inside a ruler's, a father's, a lord, a god, and finally a servant's heart. For the first 3 times 5 years, I was told one way to live was the way to live. But over the second half of the same time was I shown another way to live. I wasn't the only one who saw this. Potter's Federal was lost in a whirling rebellion brought out by the hard times of the lambs once following a lamb shepherd. However, that wasn't the case anymore. Most would apply a small portion of Potter's way of being a heaven-bent, blood-washed, white-cleansed child of God. But the ones who had the most bitterness were the ones who came up to a hard stone and struck it. This was found to be sad by all who longed for the return of the prophets. But most was frowned upon, while others were just ignored, for we were told to do so and let nature take its course. Down streams we watched, and they would go. Goodbye, those of you who couldn't just tighten a knot onto your wrist and simply hold on. But I was one of the few, I assume, that made it through. End of Chapter 2, Building a Seed.